Let's do it!
Yeah, just pick something you want to go after.
Take a closer look at this photograph. Just to clarify, Monsieur Robinho, photographs are a direct reflection of reality, are they not?
That is correct. The photographic process leaves no room for bias or inaccuracies.
That is most curious, because I see a mistake.
A mistake? Impossible. I just told you, Monsieur, the camera is a perfect, unbiased device. The photograph it produces are flawless.
Falcon, I'm not seeing any mistakes. Perhaps you could be more specific? Certainly. The clock in this photograph, there is something not right about it. It's not convenient. Defense sees something wrong with the key piece of evidence that implicates his client. Don't give me that cocky tone, Monsieur Remington. I have evidence that there's something wrong with the clock in that picture. The photograph clearly shows the clock's hands pointing at 7 and 6. Much is self-evident. Which is most curious because the clock in the lounge of Chateau Crinier has no hands. It has no hands. The clock is merely a decorative piece, a talking item. Feel free to ask Baron Roguel or his housemaid if you have any doubts. Monsieur Robinho, how do you explain this discrepancy?
I don't know. There must be some sort of mistake. My camera is flawless.
There's no mistake, monsieur. Your photograph depicts something that does not exist in the real world.
Maybe there was an error in the printing process.
An error precisely where the clock's hands should be? Please, monsieur, don't patronize us. Allow me to offer a more plausible explanation. You, Monsieur Robinho, edited this photograph.
Edited?
I'm no expert, but I suspect that you used paint or ink to carefully put hands upon the clock. It would have been a simple task, considering that the clock face was bare. One could even speculate that you specifically chose to include a handless clock in the photograph just to simplify the editing process. Falcon, your reasoning is absurd. Why would a witness do such a thing? Is it not obvious? By showing the photograph to have taken place at precisely 7:30, it clears all the photographs for subjects of suspicion. In other words, Monsieur Robinho created a perfect alibi. Of course, this raises further questions. Who is the witness protecting? And why? Why was Robinho coerced? Bribed? Threatened? Enough! Silence! Let's hear some answer, Monsieur Robinho!
Fine. You've got me. I'm guilty. I did it all. You did it? You're confessing to the murder of Monsieur Grenouille?
What?
What? No. I have no idea who killed the frog. I'm just admitting that I'm guilty of producing fraudulent photographs. I was ordered to make changes to the printed photographs. And yes, that includes adding the hands to the clock.
You were ordered? By whom?
I dare not say, Monsieur Robinho. I strongly advise you answer the defense's question. You have pledged to speak without fear, after all. With respect, Judge, I fear his claws more than I fear the punishment of the justice system. I shall name no names.
His
claws. Did you hear that, Falcon? That is most unfortunate. Monsieur Robinho, we cannot and shall not torture names out of you. We do not live under the ancient regime, after all.
Ancient regime.
Ancient regime. Might as well just say ancient. It's already written in English. But since you admitted to falsifying evidence, then we cannot keep you on the stand as a witness. Take your leave. You shall be charged with perjury in due course. I cannot protest. That is the least I deserve for my failures as an artiste. Good day, messieurs.
So the clock's hands were painted on. So what? It doesn't matter. The photograph still depicts Dame Cataline as absent close to the time of the murder. That's significant. Don't be des, Monsieur Rabbington. If the photograph is not completely genuine, then it cannot be considered reliable evidence. Why not? It's still a portrayal of the night's events, because if we accept one picture into the part that was edited, then we must accept the possibility that other parts were too. It is possible that Dame Cataline was painted out. Even worse, it is possible that another person was painted in. We know that the witness was trying to cover for someone, so all possibilities must be accounted for. So what are you saying, Falcon? That the housemaid paid off the photographer? Or was it Signor Bourgeois Demiao, perhaps? I don't think so. The housemaid lacks means of motive. And it wouldn't make sense for Signor Bourgeois to implicate his own daughter. Well, surely you're not suggesting the honest and beloved Baron Roguel deliberately tried to frame Dame Cataline? Because that would be the most outlandish theory yet. The Baron is a pillar of our community. He would never do such a thing. Monsieur Rabbington, I'm not here to throw accusations. That's the job for you, the prosecutor. However, maybe I should offer my opinion. Baron
has arrived.
Ow. It's not time for your witness testimony yet. So you would think, prosecutor, and yet I see my good reputation getting tarnished by your incompetence.
Maybe a little less feet shuffling. Julian.
Incompetence? Indeed. Let us proceed with witness questioning. Is that fine with you, Judge?
Yes, I suppose that's fine.
Very good. And I trust the defense has no objections. As a matter of fact, tread carefully, Monsieur Falcon, or I shall call you Inspector Vivi Castrel. I hear that impersonating a police officer is a major criminal offense. It would be a shame if word were to spread. And no objections here. Please continue, Baron. Fantastic. Oh, but before I forget, I pledge to speak without fear and prejudice, etc., etc. Now, prosecutor, ask me about what I witnessed over the course of the evening. Okay, Baron Roguel. On the night of the initial dinner went magnificently. When the photographer arrived, Monsieur Granby left to visit the garden. Dame Cataline followed behind him moments later. Signor Bourgeois, Monsieur Robinho, and myself were engaged in conversation, so we paid her no mind. After the photographer had left, my housemaid left to go find Monsieur Granby and Dame Cataline. That would be when I heard her cry for help. Thank you, Baron. I think we all know the story from there. I would like to cross-examine the witness. Do you doubt my integrity, garçon? I'm just here to uncover the truth, Baron. Very well. Hit me with your best shot. Let us establish with absolute certainty that I, Baron Roguel, am an honest man.
The defense may proceed with the cross-examination. What do you think will work? Also, what do you think is going to happen?
That is yet to be seen.
Oh, I'm asking if you want to make any predictions.
Baron Roguel, I would like to ask you about the dinner you served that evening. Very well, ask away.
Regarding the red herring.
Earlier today, we established that the silverware was stolen from your residence prior to the banquet. Indeed, I am aware of whom the culprit is, but I have decided not to press charges. It is curious, then, that you decided to serve steak. It isn't what one would describe as finger food, after all.
I don't know about that, Falcon. With the right attitude, all food is finger food.
There's nothing curious about it. Signor Bourgeois and Dame Cataline are vocal lovers of rare steak. I was merely suiting their needs. Besides, what other choice did the Baron have, Falcon? Serve vegetable broth like a common peasant? Do be quiet, prosecutor. You sound ridiculous. Sorry, Baron. Do you have another question about the dinner? Baron, we saw at the murder scene your garden for ourselves. Baron Roguel, when was the last time you ventured into your own garden? As it happens, I have quite serious allergies. I haven't been in my own garden for years. Years, you say? Indeed. Baron, I do not wish to call you a liar, but that claim does not hold up to scrutiny. Oh, and why is that? Because we have hard evidence that you have visited your garden recently. Balderdash, my word is gold. Show the court the so-called hard evidence that I've been in my garden. This was found in your garden. To be specific, it was found inside the fountain basin. Right beside where the murder occurred. A cigar butt? That could belong to anybody, and... Prosecutor, please shut your mouth so I can speak for myself. Okay, sorry, Baron. That is indeed the remnants of one of my cigars, but I must apologize, Monsieur Falcon, for I misunderstood your initial question. You see, prior to the banquet, I hadn't visited my own garden in years. But naturally, after hearing the housemaid's cry for help on the evening of the murder, I rushed outside. I was quite shocked and disgusted by what I saw. That must have been when I dropped my half-smoked cigar in the fountain basin. You see, Falcon, it's a perfectly reasonable explanation. I would find that believable if the cigar were casually discarded. But as it happened, the cigar butt was found in the fountain's upper basin, a location that could only be accessed with great inconvenience.
And a little paddling.
The cigar butt was not dropped, it was deliberately hidden. There are any number of possible explanations, are there? Because I can only think of one. That is, you, Baron Roguel, deliberately hid your cigar butt to disguise your own illicit activities. Did I now? And what illicit activities would those be? You want me to spell it out? Fine. Let's put everything on the table. You, Baron Roguel, murdered Monsieur Grenouille. That is what you are trying to keep hidden. Directly accusing me of murder. How shamelessly brazen. That is a ludicrous accusation, Falcon. The Baron is an upstanding citizen of the highest order. Your allegation is baseless. You have no evidence, no means, motive, or opportunity. No evidence? Think harder, Monsieur Avian. Every piece of evidence points to Baron Roguel as the prime suspect. You want the means? The Baron certainly had the means. His lion's claws are sharp as a surgeon's blade. Gutting a frog with belly would be trivial to him. Even Monsieur Robinho confessed just moments ago that he feared his claws. Ridiculous. I would never threaten a man with violence. You want motive? The Baron had at least 10,000 francs worth of motive. By removing a business partner, the Baron's shares of railway company would be increased from 1/3 to 1/2. That's preposterous. And finally, the Baron had an opportunity. No, he crafted the perfect opportunity. He arranged a small banquet with a very select number of guests. He was aware of the missing silverware, and yet he served steak, a food item that necessitates good cutlery. Why? To bloody the hands of his guests, of course. Then he hired an easily influenced photographer and staged a specific picture in order to build a perfect alibi for himself. Photographing the guests in front of a handless clock to make for easy editing is quite an ingenious plan, it must be said. Prosecutor, you're not going to let this slanderous yarn go uncontested. Say something. Object. Oh, you're pitifully useless. After executing the murder, the Baron found himself still holding a single piece of incriminatory evidence, his finished cigar. He knew that leaving it at the crime scene would raise suspicion, but he didn't have time to properly dispose of it. So out of desperation, he threw it into his fountain out of the sight of his guests and any snooping police. I find the Baron was hoping to implicate Signor Poutoir de Miao, since that would ensure total control over the railway company. Alas, Dame Cataline was the first to happen to the crime scene, so the Baron improvised. This is an outrage. Judge, I demand that you disbar this ranting lunatic. No, there's one outrage here. That is, that a man like yourself is able to abuse his wealth and status to frame an innocent girl for murder. You're a bourgeois of the worst kind. How dare you, Garçon? The utter nerve for a lying scumbag of a lawyer to accuse a philanthropist like myself of something so heinous. I'm nothing like the fat cat bourgeois. I'm a respectable, hard-working capitalist. No, you're a ruthless man who would slaughter a dear friend just to reap a few francs. You incredulous whelp! I ought to gut you right here and now like a damned frog!
So, did you like talking to yourself a lot there? Could someone please restrain the Baron? I'm on it, Your Honor. Let's go, old man. to the concierge with you.
Don't touch me, you filthy jackdaw. I can walk myself.
This is quite the turn of events. Does the prosecution have anything to add?
Well, in the manner of, speaking, well, to be honest, no.
Then I shall now confer with the members of the jury. What? I ask the animals of the court, please be patient at this time. Falcon, that was pretty incredible.
Thank you. I hope it was enough.
What do you mean? You just proved Catalina's innocence. We'll get a not guilty verdict for sure.
Sparson? I think you've misunderstood something important about the justice system.
What?
I haven't proved anything. As lawyers, we cannot deal in proofs. It's just not possible. All we can do is organize the evidence and convincingly explain what it suggests. I haven't proved Dame Catalina's innocence. All I have done is demonstrate that there is a significant possibility that she is not guilty.
I'm not sure that I understand the difference. We have reached a decision. In light of recent revelations, it is clear that an error of judgment was made with the initial arrest. On that note, we unanimously find the defendant, Dame Catherine Demieux, to be not guilty. Dun, dun, dun.
Monsieur Falcon, Petit Sparrowson, you did it! Yeah, I suppose we did, didn't we?
We should head back to the office so we can celebrate properly. You did it, Falcon.
I can't take all the credit. This was a group achievement. I'm so proud of you both.
I'll go get 1 bottle of wine and 3 of our least dirty glasses.
You were amazing, Monsieur Falcon. It was nothing. I very much liked the way you pinned the murder of the Baron. That was an act of sheer genius. Well, I didn't pin anything. Sparrowson and I just worked at unveiling the truth, given the facts of the case. Monsieur Falcon, there is no need to play coy. The case is over. Play coy? Don't tell me you're actually being sincere. I'm completely lost. Oh wow, I thought the goody-goody thing was an act, but you actually don't know. Or did I spell it out for you? I murdered Monsieur Grenouille. I saw him in the garden, all drunk and vulnerable, and I seized my opportunity. It was nothing personal, just business, you understand. Business? To increase my papa's share in the train company, of course. My papa always said that the drunk old frog was the weakest link. Your confession doesn't make any sense at all. I found Baron Roguiel's cigar butt hidden in the garden. Oh, I put that there. I expected the police to find it, but I suppose that was putting too much faith in the brains of Paris's finest.
But Falcon proved that Monsieur Rubino's photograph was edited.
It was edited. It wasn't the picture because I was busy paying a visit to Monsieur Grenouille in the garden. My papa knew I needed an alibi, so he ordered Monsieur Robinho to paint me over Baron Roguiel and to add hands to the clock. But that lazy artist didn't finish altering either photograph by the trial day. It's a good thing that Monsieur Falcon was so imaginative, because that could have gone very badly. Sort of silence. You should both be proud. There aren't many lawyers in the whole of France who could have won a case like this, even for a bourgeois kitty like me.
I think you should leave.
Fine. So much for celebrations. Here's the payment for your services, straight from my papa's pockets. Well, adieu, Monsieur Falcon. Adieu, Petit Sparrowson.
Falcon, what do we do now? Falcon. We'll just click no for now.
And with that, we will see you next time.
Bye-bye, everyone.